suppose I can just go through the alphabet really, or some of it anyway.
If someone was training to become a calligrapher, how much time would they have to plan for to get a level of expertise?
Well, it depends what they were wanting to use it for, but Irene Wellington used to say that it takes 5 years to make a reasonable calligrapher and about 15 years to make a master, and I don't think she was far wrong. And that means doing it all the time. I would never advise anybody to take up calligraphy as a means of earning a living now. You know, it doesn't work. Julian doesn't earn anything like what he used to.
Because of the computer? Or?
Right, I'm sure it is. But he does a lot of headlines and so on for publishers. Well, for art directors and so on. He has done things for the post office, but and other things. If I talk while I'm writing, I'll probably make a mess. And of course, I haven't ruled any lines here, so I can't guarantee. I can't guarantee it's going to go straight. It's going uphill.
So, what's your secret to spacing?
Well, try and make the same spaces in between the letters as you see inside them, so that you get an absolutely even texture. And that's another thing that people really have to learn. They're either natural at it or they're not, and most people aren't. But with these, it's getting strength in the arch form and seeing the O as the basis of these letters. You can see the O appearing in them and getting them compatible with each other. I mean, if you suddenly do an N, for example, that is narrow like that, and you stick it next to an O like that, you're going to get an incompatibility. So they've got to be friendly with each other and all be based on the same thing. So that if you're doing a letter that's narrow like that, you'd have a narrow O to match it. You can see that's almost like black letter. You've only got to do this sort of thing and fracture it, and you've turned it into a black letter style. But it's the same underpinning, the O being the kind of mother of the alphabet.
So fractured means a broken stroke.
Well, it's
right?
broken, yeah, right. Whereas italic, of course, is the O is not really the mother of the italic alphabet. I mean, you get an oval O, but you've got to take the N and the U as the key letters because they're branching away from the stem. And therefore, if you were doing an A, for example, you've got to base it on the shape of the U, and not on the O, or else you'll get the shape wrong down here. You can see there's the basis of the U there. So an A is really like a U. That's the only part that's like the O, and that's like the top of a C. But and your italic is so versatile that you can get, different widths of it. If you're going to make it wider, you can.
So if someone had really terrible handwriting, like the person holding the pen,
well, you can.
What would you recommend them?
Don't try.
I'd say italic, and you can do it like this, for example. All ones. This is a big pen, but you can get joins. And of course you can't really do a handwriting with a formal stiff pen like this, but you'd get joins coming in. You'd get the diagonal join and the horizontal one. And the reason why they say 45 degrees for italic handwriting is this, that the angle for most alphabets to get the strength there is 30 degrees, like that, so you get a strong downstroke and a weaker horizontal. 45 degrees, they'll turn out the same, which is pretty boring. and 60 degrees, which is about like that this would be very skinny and that would be very thick. But you would get, I think it's not coming out, but at 60 degrees you'll get a nice thin join. So at 30 degrees you're getting a strong downstroke, at 60 degrees you're getting a thin join. But you can't keep changing your pen angle if you're doing handwriting, so if that is 30 and this is 60, the compromise is 45. So at 45 degrees you still get a reasonably strong downstroke and you get a fairly thin join. So that's the compromise between the two. But when people still teach 45 degrees for formal letters, what happens is that they tend to get kind of spidery. And really you have to change your pen angle according to the width. I mean, look at the pen angle for that, for example, and that's fairly upright. But this one, being wider, needs a shallower pen angle. So the wider you are, the flatter your pen angle is. The narrower you are, the steeper it might get. And also according to the weight and things like that. In the Speedball book you'll see a page of mine in there where the pen angles vary between 20